Okay, so I'm not having my best day ever. This afternoon I started having some mild respiratory symptoms. I guess kind of like a mild cold symptoms maybe. My nose is a little stuffy and runny. My cough is like a little deeper. I'm a little scratchy. Really nothing major to write home about, except that I could be coming down with a cold. So if I'm actually coming down with a cold, then that would be the first time that I've gotten sick since my transplant. So for most people, a cold is not a big deal. For someone post-transplant, it is a big deal because I'm immunosuppressed, so it's harder for my body to fight off infections. So it could settle in and become like a bigger infection and a bigger issue than it would for a normal person. But also, getting sick triggers an immune response, and an immune response can lead to rejection, because that's what rejection is. It's your immune system attacking the organ because it's a foreign thing in the body. So right now I don't know what the situation is, and I'm a little bit panicking, to be honest, because I haven't gotten sick yet post-transplant. I've been trying really hard not to get sick post-transplant. And so I'm scared about what could happen or what it could mean. Also, it really didn't help that I made the mistake of Googling cold after lung transplant, and the first result was talking about people dying. So that really helped with the whole don't panic situation. So basically the rest of tonight is going to be spent trying not to panic, trying to get a good night's sleep, and then I'm gonna reassess what's going on tomorrow. If I feel worse, if I start running a fever, or if my symptoms are stronger, then I'm definitely gonna call the 24-hour on-call lung transplant line and see what they tell me to do, which very likely, since it's currently the weekend, would mean going to the ER to get a viral swab to find out whether or not I am sick. I would really rather hold out until Monday, because then I can just go to clinic and get swabbed instead of dealing with the ER. But if, tomorrow is Sunday, and if I'm feeling worse on Sunday, then I can't wait, and I have to call the emergency number and see what they have to say. Hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow and this will not be an issue. And if I feel exactly the same, then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'll have to think about it and decide whether I can wait until Monday and avoid the ER, or if I should call the emergency line. And then I don't know what they would say. Would they say stay home and assess? Would they tell me to go to the ER? I really don't know. That's part of the problem here, is that I've never dealt with this before. I don't know what I'm dealing with, and I don't know what the response is gonna be. And then, the whole existential panic of potential getting ill, long-term implications, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's going on right now, and we're all gonna keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. So it's now Sunday evening, and I think I might be able to safely say that I am not sick. Not 100% sure, but I'm definitely not feeling worse today. I think I'm feeling a little bit better, a little less sniffly and a little less scratchy. So hopefully I'm in the clear. We realized it might have been an allergic reaction, because on Friday night I had like a food allergy reaction. I ate something and almost immediately started having like red blotches on my face. Thankfully it cleared right up when I took some Benadryl, but it was like very obviously a food reaction of some sort. I know that I'm allergic to something because I've had a few times when I've had that kind of reaction, but we haven't been able to figure out what it is. It's probably some sort of spice, but we haven't been able to narrow it down. And even this time when it was like very clear, like which food I was reacting to, the problem was that like it was like a food that had a lot of different spices in it, and there was really no way to narrow down which spice I was reacting to. So still have a mystery allergy, which is super fun. But so that was Friday night, and then Saturday is when I was feeling all sniffly and scratchy and stuff. So maybe it was like a leftover allergic reaction kind of thing, but I really don't know. I'm not going to be like 100% comfortable until I go a few more days without having, you know, like any worsening symptoms or anything. So I am just going to kind of be keeping an eye on things. So hopefully everything is fine and that I will make it through the rest of the week without any complications and will be in the clear. And this is just part of the realities of post-transplant life, is that you're kind of constantly on alert, and that stuff that would be small for other people and like wouldn't be a big deal could be a big deal for someone who's post-transplant or immunosuppressed, etc. It's kind of funny because I had similar concerns pre-transplant in that I always had to be very careful of respiratory infections, because with CF you already have constant respiratory infections anyway as just your baseline, so catching anything on top of that could have, you know, could be worse. And you know, something that would be just like a cold for a regular person, for me, if I caught a cold, you know, at best it would last me for like at least a month, and at worst I could end up in the hospital with pneumonia. You never really knew how it was going to go, so I was always, you know, super anxious about, you know, any sort of respiratory infection and like staying away from germs and stuff like that. So this is kind of similar to post-transplant life, but I think I have an extra level of paranoia now, because whereas before I was usually pretty confident that even though it could be a bad respiratory infection, that I would eventually clear it, you know, that even if it turned into a CF exacerbation, that I would be able to, with antibiotics and treatment, get over it. Whereas now I have the fear that in addition to having trouble clearing it out of my system because I'm immunosuppressed, there's always the risk of an infection triggering rejection, which, you know, could be easily treatable or could cause long-term problems. So I think also because post-transplant life is new to me and I haven't had any rejection yet, that I'm like super paranoid about illness and infection and rejection. Maybe I'll get less angsty about it as time goes on and chill out, or maybe this is just my life now and I'll just always be super nervous about it. It's really not so fun, because every time I start showing any signs of infection, I have this like panic reaction that I have to like control and calm myself down. Last night was not a fun night. So today, thankfully, I'm feeling much better now that I see that I probably am not sick. So yeah, fun facts of transplant life. So hopefully that's it for this video. Hopefully I will not have any more updates to add to this within the next week or so, because hopefully everything is fine. So yeah, stay tuned for better and brighter adventures and videos from here on out.